Okay, tuko live.
Hey,
Hi. Let me not say what I wanted to say.
yeah,
You talk.
so
I'll tell you behind the tent.
hi.
Anyway, so let's wait for people to join and see.
So hi guys. So okay.
You should learn to keep time. You should learn to keep time.
I thought I've actually done that.
Hmm?
I've actually kept time.
Okay, so let me ask you, what have you prepared? Ama, we are going to, only to talk about that
So
one
to,
one.
so thank you for the question. So
Mhm.
today I've actually prepared something interesting for all of you guys. And today I was planning on okay, this is just my own presentation. I was planning on to talk about how somebody can actually attend a conference, an expo, a seminar, a conference, okay, and they can all be combined into one. For example, like the ADEX Expo, which is in Brussels. So they're actually going to have a conference. They're going to have an expo, an exhibition, and also a conference. Okay, I've talked about a conference, expo, seminar, and an exhibition, all happening at the same venue. But it's going to be a 2 day event, okay, on the 16th and on the 17th of November. So that one is just one of the events that actually somebody can actually attend, okay. And I was also planning on talking about there are different kinds of seminars and expos and conferences that somebody can actually attend. Okay. I was planning on talking about different kinds of expos, seminars, and conferences that somebody can attend, how to actually do the application. Okay. What to do after you have actually gotten an invitation or the badge. Okay. Depending on if you apply as an attendee, you can get a badge or an invitation to attend the conference or the expo. Okay, and I was also planning
So what?
on the do's and the don'ts in terms of the application process and where you can actually find these conferences and expos also. So that's basically what I had planned for today.
Okay, so guys, welcome.
So,
So can you hear me now? Okay, we're good.
yes. So, I'm sorry, Pauline, you can actually assist me in terms of reading the comments in the chat. I'll not be able to
Okay,
actually talk and also read the comments in the chat. Okay?
it's okay.
Yeah.
I'll be
So,
reading them for you. So if you guys can hear me, you can just type there so that we can start. We had some problem with network. I'm not sure.
yeah.
So can you hear us now? Official, you can go ahead. Yeah, we are okay. We're
So,
okay.
so I'm actually going to start with the elephant in the room. I'm sure this is the most sought out information. So we are going to start with the do's and the don'ts. So
Okay.
sometimes you might actually find yourself applying for a conference, and number one, you have not done enough research to actually know exactly what is actually needed of you to actually attend the conference. Okay, so you might find yourself, like, for example, you just want to and I'm sorry, I'm going to be so candid in this. Sometimes you just want to migrate to Europe instantly through fire, through hellfire. You just want to, by fire, by force, by anything, you just want to migrate to Europe. And the biggest mistake some of us actually do, we actually do not know exactly why we actually want to attend a certain conference. Okay, so you actually need to know why are you actually attending this specific conference. Okay, normally whenever you've applied for a conference, and maybe uh, through luck or uh, through God's favor, you might actually find yourself that you've actually applied for the conference and you've actually gotten the badge. Remember, that one is just the tip of the iceberg. And then here comes the big problem. You have to go to the immigration office. For example, if you had applied, for example, like the ADEX Expo, you have to go to the Belgian embassy. Remember, they always have questions. For example, why do you want to attend this conference? Remember, if you had not planned earlier, you'll not be able to actually get the visa itself to actually travel. Okay, then some people actually tend to apply for conferences thinking that whenever you're applying for a conference, the conference will actually, the organizers of the conference will actually take care of everything. Remember, a conference is not a scholarship. And in as much as you're told there is a scholarship for you, remember the scholarship sometimes does not cater for your traveling. For example, your air ticket. That one you have to actually take care of it on your own. And remember also, all these expenses in terms of where you're going to sleep for those 2 days will actually be settled by you. You're actually going to foot all those bills. Okay? So it is important for you to actually go, for example, when you've actually gone to Google, let me just try and sum up everything. Maybe you're looking for a conference, for example, in agriculture in Belgium. Okay? So you go to Google, for example, you go write agriculture in Belgium. Maybe you find there is this conference or conferences in Belgium about agriculture, okay, concerning agriculture. So you can actually going to find the different websites talking about agriculture. Then when you've identified a certain conference that you actually think is actually suitable for you, and how do you actually do this? You have to read through the conference itself. You read through all the information that is actually in the website itself, understand why you should actually apply for the conference. Okay, then take the initiative of knowing if, for example, is the conference, am I supposed to pay it's a commitment fee? Okay, conferences do not charge you anything. They normally charge a commitment fee to show that you're actually serious, and also to actually be able to know, for example, this certain individual is actually serious, and this individual is actually eager to attend the conference. Okay, So some of the conferences are free, okay? Some of the conferences are not free, okay? Remember, all this depends necessarily on the conference itself, okay? Depending on the organizers themselves. Maybe they've actually invited, for example, a certain prominent individual, maybe like somebody who has actually been talking in the TEDx expos, TEDx, and these people maybe have to get paid. They do not have any other process in terms of raising their own revenue, and maybe they do not have exhibitors in the conference. Okay, so number one, when you've identified a conference, go straight to the information or the details of the conference. Okay, and what are the specific details about a conference? One, is it relevant to what I want? Okay. Two, who and who is actually going to be at the conference or the expo or the seminar? Okay. What are my end goals in terms of going to the seminar itself? Okay.
There's a
Here is where
question.
now you chip in with yes.
Ashe, Ashtray, I remember her from TikTok. She's asking, so there are some conferences that requires payment? Is a question.
Yes. So um,
Mhm.
I'll give a very good example. For me, I've actually attended. I'm sorry, I'm going to use the relevant examples that I have from my own field. So for me as an engineer, I've actually attended the Big Five construction event. The Big Five is actually an exhibition which actually has a conference inside. Okay. In Kenya, it's normally held in Nairobi, and there is also one that is also going to happen in Dubai. Okay. So, what are, for example, why would I actually attend the Big Five construction? One, for me, I'm an engineer, so I'll actually go there and maybe meet all the all the manufacturers who actually manufacture products that are related to engineering. For example, if civil engineering, you'll find they have technology in terms of creating concrete blocks. They have the latest piping technology. They have the latest building technology. They have the latest design technology. So the conference will actually be of importance to me because I'll actually meet all those people from different countries, for example, Sweden, Switzerland, Austria, Egypt, and all those exhibitors who will actually be in the conference. Okay? Or in the exhibition. So there's the exhibition hall and then there's the conference hall. All in one, it becomes an event. So it's the Big Five exhibition or event or conference, depending on which one actually suits your fetish. Okay? So you have like to know, for example, if the event is free. The Big Five construction is free, you just register, okay? But there are conferences where you have to pay a commitment fee. There was one that was actually happening last month in Canada. That one you had to pay, okay? So there are two types of conferences. There is the free conference, and there is also the paid conference or the exhibition. So it necessarily depends on the organizers of the event or the seminar
Okay, let me
or
say
the expo.
something. So,
Yes.
Noel, hi, and thank you so much for those who are watching. You can do us justice by just liking this video. Just give it a thumbs up, and if you can share. If you have any questions, just write them down on the comment section, and then I'll read them out for official positive vibes as we continue. But I have a question. So you said for you to go to a certain conference, you have to know what is happening there because there are possibility like if I decide, for example, the conference that we were talking about in on TikTok, you have to go through the immigration to get the visa because again you have to apply for the visa to go to where the conference is happening. So in the interview, are they going to ask you question about the conference?
Thank you. Thank you for that vital question. So you go, you've applied. Let's say, for example, the application process is just 1 hour. You've applied because you want to go to Belgium. You want to visit
Mhm.
Belgium. Then
Mhm.
you have the badge. Then you book a migration through VFS Global, for example, and you have an appointment date in a week or 2 weeks. You don't do your homework in terms of trying to understand what the conference is about, why you actually want to go for the conference, okay? How you actually going to fund yourself, what documents are actually needed for you to actually convince the embassy, and you forget all those kinds of vital nitty-gritties. I call them vital because they'll actually be the reasons as to why you won't go for the conference. It's actually free, but you won't actually attend the conference itself. So be very careful, understand why, understand what the event is about, go visit the website. And when I'm talking, what I'm talking about, when I'm saying visiting, it's not just to go to the website and you're just going to visit and just look at the website, the beautiful images there, or the beautiful graphics in the website. You have to go do a thorough research in terms of the conference itself, so that when the immigration officer just asks you, for example, how long is it going, what do you plan on doing after attending the conference, you actually have something to say that actually makes a lot of sense. you know, Not when you're asked, what are you going to do after the conference, you say, I'm actually going to have a few drinks with my friends who we are actually going with, and all those kinds of funny answers. Remember, the immigration process is quite strict, okay? The immigration process is quite strict in terms of everything that is required for you to actually go to a foreign country. Remember, this is not your country, this is a foreign country that you're actually going. And and it is important for you to actually have your game. You just need to have, you just need to be one step way ahead of the immigration officer. And what do I mean by that? One, know exactly why you're going there. Okay. Two, there are some things that you actually don't do. For example, you cannot go, for example, for a visa interview and tell the immigration officer, I'm actually not planning to come back to my home country. Okay? You cannot go do such kinds of things. You cannot say some of those, all those kinds of sentiments will actually not be of help to you. Okay? So there is a question here. I'll actually tackle it as we wait for Pauline. I'm a student. So when trying to register, they ask me about my organization and the postal code. So what do I do now? Because I tried and they say the post code is not valid. So this is a very common question that I've actually come across. Okay. So number one, we are going to start with about your organization. So in the organization, you have to feel something, okay? You just have to feel something there in your organization. And then the postal code, you have to input it manually. There is somewhere there when just a place below where the postal code is, where you are told you can actually input it manually. You just have to visit that place and then try and actually input the postal code manually. For example, if in Nairobi, the postal code is 00200, for example, and then you have to have a specific postal, a PO box number, okay? Sorry, I'm actually looking at the comments here. If one is able to go, mtu anaweza, okay. Interesting question. So you have to input the postal code manually, okay? Just way below where you don't have to fill it automatically like the way you're inputting it. Remember, you have, uh, just be a little bit keen. When you're filling it, for example, it might actually not accept the postal code. It does not mean that they've actually rejected your application or anything. You just have to be a little bit patient with the website and actually input it manually. There is a place, there is a place there when you're inputting the postal code where you have to actually try and input it manually. Okay. So, Pookie's question, I won't be able to answer it right uh, in this particular moment. I'll actually talk about it later, and I'm actually going to change the language to Kiswahili, moving on swiftly. And what are the requirements for this type of visa? So, I'm just going to give you a brief overview. Okay. So, Belgium is one of the countries that is in the Schengen region. So, you'll actually have to apply for the Schengen visa. Number one, you have to be quite prepared with your documents. For example, what do I mean? Whenever you are attending any conference, you have to have very specific documents. For example, one, you have to have your passport ready. That one goes without saying. That one goes without saying. You have to have your passport. Okay. After I hope you are taking in your checklist. I hope everybody has a checklist of all these documents. If I'm actually naming the passport, Kumbe, you just have to tick. For example, if you have your passport, just tick, my passport is ready. Number two, you have, for example, and I want people to be a little bit keen on this part. When you are when you're applying for, when you're applying for the visa interview, for example, you're booking the visa interview. Remember, you have to have your supporting documents. For example, you have the badge. Okay. If you have the badge, that is one of the supporting documents. Number two, when you're applying for a visa in terms of attending any conference, remember, this one is something you have to remember. You have to have your flight ticket not booked, but reserved. Okay? You have to
It's called
reserve
dummy
your
ticket.
flight ticket. Yes, dummy ticket. Going and coming back. Okay? Going and coming back to and fro.
A
Okay?
return ticket.
Don't go. Yes, your return ticket. Okay? To and fro ticket. Okay? Then
Yeah.
you have to have a hotel reservation. Okay? I'm going to delve a little bit about all these things. For hotel reservation, in Belgium, there are actually very cheap hostels that you can actually stay in. Okay. For all those people who will actually be trying to, or for all those people who are actually interested, we'll actually try and form a group where we'll actually share all these kinds of information with. Okay. For the lucky people who will actually have a lucky opportunity, there is a website known as Couch Surfing. Okay. Couch Surfing. Okay. When you just Google Couch Surfing, you're actually going to find the website there. Visit Couch Surfing, you actually be able to find a host who can actually host you for 1 or 2 days. Okay. And they do not
Wow.
charge anything. Okay. The website itself is created to create can actually hear me. Okay, I'm back. So the website is couch staffing. You can actually apply. You just register or log in into your account in the couch surfing website. Apply, find new hosts, for example, in Belgium, if you're actually sure you're actually going to travel. Okay, after you've gotten your visa. See, not right now, you actually go visit the website and start telling the host there you're actually going to travel. Okay, you actually don't even know if you're actually going. So, visit the website, okay, couch surfing, after you've actually gotten your visa and you're sure you're actually going to travel. Then, if you're not lucky in finding a host, remember, even if somebody is visiting you, for example, let's say, for example, you have somebody who is actually visiting you, they'll actually have to to give you maybe a 2 weeks notice. Okay. Remember, this is somebody new you're actually going to stay in their place. They'll actually, for example, take you around Belgium, for example, so that you can become friends. Okay. Hizi sasa ni vitu zenye I cannot talk kwa TikTok. I cannot actually tell people this stuff on TikTok. Okay, that one will also be a great opportunity for you. You can actually even find a spouse. Remember, the host can actually be, depending on your character. Okay, depending on your character behavior, so many things, the way you look, if you're gorgeous, anything, your confidence is up there. The host can actually decide uh, that you can actually, he or she can actually date you. Okay, are we together until that point? I'm hoping.
Yeah.
So these are the
Hey.
things I cannot say on TikTok. So,
Okay, so there's
or
a
he or she
question
can
there.
actually introduce you to their friend. Hapo najua kuna maswali mingi sana hapo. I actually know there are a lot of questions that
Now,
actually need
kuna
to come in
there's
right
this
now.
one. There's this one from Sony.
Mm,
She's saying, kumbe mtu haezi enda joyriding. Like if you apply to attend, you must attend. Of course, because it's your
okay.
money after all.
Mm. So, Sony, for me, what I would actually tell you, remember, if you're actually serious about this thing, I'm sure everybody who is here did not come here to waste their time. If you're actually serious, you're going to take all the initiative of actually attending the conference. Remember, there's somebody who attends a conference and they actually find a work, they find work opportunities, they find a spouse, they find all the good things life can actually offer you. Okay?
You
And I'm
guys,
saying this with a clean heart. And I know of somebody who actually went somewhere and actually got somebody. Okay? I don't want to name names because he or she is my friend in TikTok. Okay? On TikTok. He or she is
you
a
guys,
friend on
can you
TikTok.
like the video
So
and
I'll
share
not
it?
actually name names, but all these opportunities are actually there for you. Okay? Remember, when even if you're going to joyride, remember you have to have an ultimate goal. If your ultimate goal is maybe to look for a job opportunity, remember when you visit, you have to take, you know, you have to use the opportunity so that it can actually benefit you. Okay? Moving on swiftly. So approximately how much does one need for the whole process of the conference? Very good question. But now, remember, there are so many approximations towards this question. I love the fact that you've used the word approximate. So, number one, this is just an approximation. Number one, you need to factor in the fact that, for example, you need to apply for the visa. The visa, Pauline, is around 10K, right?
Yeah.
10K. Then you need to factor in the fact that uh, you might be required to have your medical certificate and all those other factors, which might necessarily not be there depending on the embassy and everything. Then you might be forced or be in a position to actually pay for your ticket to and fro. Okay, your even return ticket. So those ones are two flight tickets. Then
Mm-hmm.
if you are lucky, if you are lucky enough, you get a host family. Okay, not a host family, you get a host who will actually host you in Belgium for those 2 days. Okay, if not, you have also to factor in the fact that you'll actually need, you'll actually need to pay for a hostel for 2 days. Then you'll also need to to have money in your account where you'll actually need to travel and eat, shower, and do all those things. If you're going for shopping, you also need money for your own shopping. Okay, so you'll actually need to have a good amount of budget. Okay, I don't want to
So
say right now
let
that
me
you might
answer.
need
Let me
200K or
answer,
something. I
Lily.
don't want to. Yes.
Lily, you're asking about the link. After we finish this live, I'm going to link I'm going to link the link on the description box of this video. So don't worry about it. I'm going to link it there.
Yeah. So
Shish anasema I'm late, but I mean you're welcome. So You guys, you're 18 of you. Why don't you like the video? Just like it. Just give it a thumbs up as we continue. And if you have a question, just type it on the comment section. I'm going to read it, or just put it on the banner. And yeah, that's it. I guess so far we're good. If you have any question, you
Yeah.
can ask it on the comment section. So there's this question that just got in. Let me put it in the banner. Can I stay longer than 2 days, or the visa is just for 2 days?
Thank you very much for the question, Ashtray254. So the Schengen visa has a duration, okay? I'll let Pauline talk about the duration, but what I know is if the visa, for example, is 30 days, you can actually stay there for 30 days. But remember, you had actually booked your flight, okay, to and fro. So I don't know if you'll actually accept to lose the money, okay? I don't know if you can actually risk that, okay? But remember, the visa has its own regulations. You know, you cannot extend the visa, okay, without a prior application. Okay, you have to be quite categorical in terms of that. Remember, when you're blacklisted from traveling to a certain country, that might actually impact other visa interviews that you might actually apply for. So this one requires a lot of strategizing from your side, Ashtray. If you're actually going to stay longer or actually going to extend your stay, this one might be a personal decision and might also be dependent on how and what you've planned. Okay, I've said this and I'm actually going to repeat this. The people who attend a conference find new work and business opportunities. There are people who attend a conference, meet the love of their life. There are people who attend a conference and actually get new business links, get new everything in terms of how they actually present themselves. Okay, it all depends on you, your character, your presentation, and how you actually carry yourself in the whole expo or the semi. Okay, are we together on that? Remember, you can actually go there, meet. I'm sorry, I cannot read the comments. Yeah. So, Ashtray, I hope I've answered the question. I hope I've answered your question. You can actually do that. That one is totally dependent on if you are actually going to forfeit the return ticket, okay? The return ticket flight, okay? And
Okay,
also
I have a
prior
question.
arrangements, okay? Mhm.
So about this particular conference that we were talking about on TikTok. So what is it about?
Thank you very much for the question. So it is important for me to say that the AIDEX Expo is not necessarily in Europe, okay? They also have the Expo here in Kenya. And Kenya is the only country where they actually have the Expo, especially it's only in Nairobi, okay? I happen to have friends who are also Ugandans, and they were actually saying they actually want to go on strike, and they have the Expo also taken to Uganda. But I don't know how they're actually going to do that, but I'm hoping the Expo is still going to happen in Kenya. So the Expo is basically uh, going to incorporate everybody who is in the humanitarian sphere. Okay, what am I talking about when I'm saying humanitarian sphere? So if you are somebody who actually knows or has dealt with the humanitarian sphere in the aspect that you actually somebody who knows or wants to engage in humanitarian activities, security, all those kinds of activities, this is the expo for you. Okay, I'm sure if you have visited my TikTok video, you'll actually learn more about the conference because I've actually posted a video that actually talking about the conference itself. Okay, yeah.
Okay, so far there's no any question. Can we move to the next thing?
Yes. So there is I've talked about how you can actually how you actually know or how you actually find a conference, for example, on the net. Okay. So number one, visit your Google homepage. Okay. When you're in Google, just go there. For example, agricultural conferences in Belgium. Okay. That is one. Number two, there is a specific website here. Um, the website is 10times.com. Okay. 10times.com. And when I'm talking about 10 times, it's the 10, the one and the zero. Okay. 10times.com. Okay. When you
Times
visit
is
there, you'll actually find
is it times or is it
the
times
figure.
in letters?
Okay. Times, TIMES, the letters themselves. Okay.
Okay.
10times.com. That is the website that will actually find all the conferences. Uh, okay. 10times.com.
So let's answer some
You can actually
questions
visit. Yeah.
before you go, because I can see we have some quite some questions. There's someone who is asking, Pauline, with the Audex Expo, which type of visa should one apply? And then the next question is, so someone can be denied visa even after having a badge. I thought ukishapata badge ni direct pass ya kupata visa. And then the next question, I'm going to read the three question all together. Lazima mtu atafute expo amesomea. I hope umeunderstand hizo questions.
Yeah. So I'm actually going to be quite lenient enough to start with first come, first served. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, for you to attend the conference, you have to understand that there are different types of visas. Okay. For you to attend the conference, you'll have to apply for the Schengen visa because Belgium is one of the countries in the Schengen region. Okay. Number two, if you do not know the exact visa, you can actually visit the website of not you can actually visit the website or you can actually go there physically. For example, if the conference is in Canada, you can actually visit the Canadian website. They can actually give you prior information. Okay. They can actually guide you through the process itself. The question two, I'll actually go to the second question. The second question was talking about you can actually be denied the visa, right, Pauline?
Yeah.
Right? So,
Yes.
number one, it is important for you to note, and this is just something you need to note down that uh, whenever you are dealing with the embassy does not, the embassy is dealing with you individually. Okay? The embassy is not dealing with the conference or the organizers of the conference. Okay? So it is your personal duty to actually try and convince the embassy that the embassy, okay, for the embassy, they're actually very simple. It's actually a very simple question. They actually just need to know that when you are going, you're actually going to come back. Just that simple question. They do not want people who will actually visit, people who will actually attend a conference and become refugees in their country. Okay?
So there's
So
also another
basically,
question.
how
Oh
will
no,
you
no,
convince
finish.
the embassy that you will actually attend the conference and actually come back? Okay? So what am I talking about? Do you have the right is your bank statement showing that you actually have the right the stipulated amount of money? Okay, they want to see your transactions. Are you somebody who actually have ties, for example, back home? Okay, do you have ties? When I'm talking about ties, for example, if you have a kid, you can provide the birth certificate of your kid and say, this is one of the ties that I have with my home country, which, for example, which is Kenya. Number two, do you have work? Do you have a work contract here in Kenya? Remember, all these documents actually put more emphasis in your application that you're actually going to go to Belgium and actually come back. Number three, do you have a title deed? Of course, kama umeinvest kwa shamba, they actually know that you'll actually come back. You cannot just go buy land and leave your land to just anybody. They actually know that you have properties here in Kenya. Okay?
Okay, I have a
Remember all
question
this. Okay.
before even you
Mm.
go ahead. So you've talked about land, that is asset, right? So for example,
Yes.
whatever I've invested in a circle, can I use that circle as my asset?
Uh, Tricky question, very tricky question, but I would actually not. I actually don't think any immigration officer would take that one seriously. Okay, it has to be something quite tangible. Remember, for example, let's say, for example, you've invested 50,000. What is 50,000 surely in terms of your immigration process? You have to have something that is quite tangible to actually convince an immigration officer that you're actually going to come back. Remember, they know that land is it's a quite an important asset. For example, here, remember you cannot leave your work. Okay, work is an important aspect for you to actually to actually survive. Then, if you have kids, you cannot just leave your kids. If you are married, you cannot just leave your spouse. Okay, so these ones are the ties that will actually prove that you'll actually going to come back home. Okay, the third question was talking about uh, if you can actually apply for a conference that is related to your field. Then here comes a very interesting answer. So number one, remember remember each and every person who is in this life is quite unique. Okay, you might have studied, for example, agriculture, but you're interested in IT stuff. Okay, so you can actually apply for a conference that, for example, is talking about IT. Okay, or you love traveling, so you can actually go apply for a conference or a seminar or an expo that is related to tourism and traveling and all those other things. For example, in the hospitality sphere, the most important aspect for you to know is that you really have to know exactly why you are applying for a conference. Okay, why are you specifically attracted to this conference? Remember, when you're going to the visa interview, the immigration officer will ask you, so why do you want to attend, for example, why do you want to attend this conference, and yet in Kenya you do agriculture? Why are you going? Why are you actually? Why specifically this conference? Yet you're actually going to learn more about agriculture. Yet you do agriculture in Kenya. You have to have a very concrete answer that is actually going to assure the immigration officer that you actually know why you're actually attending the conference or the seminar. Okay, you can actually tell them this is just my own answer, and somebody should not ask me, for example, other questions related to immigration. Okay, so you can give a very simple answer and say that in Kenya or in Africa, agriculture is mainly done rudimentary. Okay, what do I mean by rudimentary? People do manual work. So when I attend this conference or this seminar, I'm actually going to learn how agriculture can be mechanized, okay? How we can actually use more sophisticated machines, okay? How we can use more sophisticated technology to actually improve our yields. So when you tell the migration officer that, they'll actually be convinced that you actually know why you're actually attending a conference, and not because not because you want to go to Europe and become an immigrant and become a refugee there. Okay, you need to have very concrete answers that will actually ensure that you actually
Official.
get the visa. Yes.
So I'm going to read for you some other question. There's a question asking what about an age? I guess she's asking if age is a factor. There's someone who is asking how much you need to have in your bank. There is someone who is saying sasa sisi wenye tumesomea beauty tunaweza enda conference gani? Ashtray ameuliza ukubwa wa shamba ni should it be an acre, should it an eighth or what? Alafu kuna inakaa the only property I have ni my child. Yeah, also a child, your child is a tie. It's varied, it's a tie. Okay.
Yeah.
what if I'm in a different country, Asia? I want to attend the expo. There's no problem with that, Stephen. You can attend the expo wherever you are. I'm also not in Kenya, but still, I'm interested in attending. So you're going to apply for the visa from wherever you are, but make sure wherever you are, you have the right documents. You have the work permit, and which has more than 6 months before it expires. Okay. So there's also another question. I hope you'll you'll keep them all in your mind. What if you don't have anything to prove to them that you'll come back? Sasa kama venye umesema shamba, I'm asking because mimi I don't have a land and I don't have kids. So how can I provide myself? Of course, if you don't have a land and you don't have a kid, that means you have a job. Because again, if okay, this is what will happen. If you don't have a job, you don't have a child, you don't have anything, then it means there's someone who is sponsoring you. Okay, so that person should also help you with the bank statement and other proof of saying that I'm going to sponsor this person to go to this conference, and she will come back. Okay, and you as a person, now you have to explain why you want to go there, and you have to convince the immigration officer that if I get this chance, if I get this visa to go to this particular country for conference, I'm for sure going to come back after those 2 days. Again, the conference has stated that it will be there for 2 days. So most probably the immigration officer is just going to give you a 1 week visa, maybe 1 week visa. Okay. So let's stop from there. I will read the other questions as we go. So I will give you a chance to try and answer those questions as quick as you can, because again, time is running and we can only be here for 1 hour.
Okay. So, age, I'm speculating you're above 18 years. There is nothing like age limit. Even if you are 100 plus 200 years, you're welcome to actually apply for the conference. The ADEX Expo, okay? Remember, each and every seminar or conference has different requirements, okay? And different goals. So you just need to go visit, for example, the website of the conference itself, okay? Or the organizers themselves, they'll actually be able to assist you in that. So there's nothing like age. Number two, I've talked about amount to present. Okay. So when you're talking about a bank slip, remember you might be asked for maybe 3 months or 6 months. Okay. So what does this tell you? If you're actually planning on attending the conference, saa hii unafaa kuoneka pesa ukitoa. Okay. You're depositing and withdrawing. Okay. So that when you have the statement, inaonyeshana umekuwa ukitransact pesa mzuri, umekuwa ukiweka na ukitoa pesa, so that when you ask the bank for the bank statement, they can actually give you a very good bank statement that will actually improve or boost your chances of actually getting the visa. Then, if that is not possible, you can actually use, for example, your parents' bank statement and all that. That one will also assist you in terms of that. Next question, Pauline was talking about
The size of the land.
Next question was size of the land. So I do not know anything about the size of the land, but land is an important asset and it's an important tie back home. Okay? Hata kama uko na 50 by 100 uko na title, you can actually provide the title as part of your supporting documents. Okay? They do not care about the size of the land, because you can have a 50 by 100 in Nairobi, a 50 by 100 in Nairobi might be 50 acres in Oloitoktok or somewhere fun or somewhere there, or 50 by 100 in Mombasa is not the same amount of money as 2 acres in Garissa. Okay, so the size of the land does not matter, but the title deed is what will actually be tied back home. It will actually
It's okay.
prove to the.
So I'll try to cut you short. So we have like 10 minutes. There's someone who is asking, I only have a job. I only have a job. Yes, if you're employed, then you're good. That is your tie. You need to
Yes,
have a job.
yes.
Mtu anisaidie page 2 wake kuapply. I hope you'll find help. But if I'm living in a different country, I talked about that already. I told you it's okay. Wherever you are, you can apply. Please, we were interrupted about the visa requirements. I guess the last 2 minutes, he's going to repeat all the visa requirement for the conference. Can you use someone else's bank statement? For sure, 100%. You can. But when it comes to bank statement and the amount of money that you have in the bank, one thing that you have to remember is you can't just go and borrow money and then put in the bank and present that that's your bank statement. No, a statement is it should be for 6 months actually. Canada and also Europe, it should be the last 6 months. They want to see the activities that has been happening in your bank account, the money that has been getting in and out of your bank account. And now, so you might be, maybe you might be getting 20,000 as your salary. Okay, so they want to see 20,000 every month, what you do with it. So even if by the end of those 6 months you don't have a lot of savings in your bank, you can now borrow money and then add it to the bank account and now like print out the bank statement. Okay. I don't think there's any other question that we've forgotten. There's someone who is asking about wanabiashara. Of course, if you have a business, it's a good thing, but you need to register your business for it to be presentable. You cannot just have a business. Hata kama ni ya mama mboga, just register it. And nowadays things are easy. You just need to go to your e-citizen, register your business, and you're good to go. So if you have any other
So
question, mnaweza
I'll actually
uliza.
talk
And
about
before
the
even
top
I
10
give you,
conferences. Yes,
before
sorry.
before you continue, I'll kindly ask you. You're 22. Can you please like the video? At least we pay thumbs up. Kidogo tu. And then we can go ahead. Endelea.
So I'll just talk about the ten conferences that are top of the list. There is one known as Magic Las Vegas. It's an exhibition conference that will actually, I'm sure we all know that Las Vegas is in the US. So the conference is about apparel. When I'm talking about apparel, of course, it's clothing, fashion, and all those things, fashion and beauty. And this conference is going to be next year, 13th to the 15th of February, 2023. So if you're planning to have your Valentine's, if you're planning to have your Valentine's, you can actually have it in Las Vegas next year. Okay? You can actually find, I can actually tell you can actually find a spouse on this day. So if you're actually planning, make sure you plan on attending this conference. It's actually going to be in Las Vegas, USA. And they normally say whatever happens in Las Vegas stays in Las Vegas.
Thanks.
So there is one. There is also another one that is in Canada, though this one I'm sure most of us will not be able to attend because it's actually happening right now. We have the Canadian National Exhibition. It's a travel and tourism expo exhibition, and it actually is in the process of almost ending. It was happening on the 19th of August to the 5th of September. Okay, so that one I'll actually skip it. We have the International Tourism and Travel Show. It's also happening in Canada, Montreal, Canada, and it is going to happen on the 28th to the 30th of October 2022. Okay, all these conferences and exhibitions I'm talking about are in the website 10times.com. Okay, these ones are the top 100 conferences you can actually attend. Then we have the Medica Connected Healthcare Forum. It's actually going to be in Dusseldorf, Germany. Okay, as the name of the conference suggests, medical, pharmaceutical, wellness, health, and fitness. Okay, when is it going to happen? 14th to the 17th of November 2022. One of my favorite expos and exhibition is the China Import and Export Fair, which is the first phase. Okay, and it's actually going to happen in Guangzhou. It's known as Guangzhou, China. We are actually, okay, the conference is actually going to be, the main topic will be actually electrical and electronics, okay? The electric and electronics aspects of the China market, where you'll actually learn about how to import and export them. And it's actually going to happen on the 15th to the 19th of October 2022. Okay. The other conference that I'd actually want to just finish and talk about it is the Washington International Strategic Conference. Okay, this one is going to happen. It's actually going to happen tomorrow, to the 6th of September 2022, and it's actually going to be in the Greenbelt area of the United States. Remember, there are some conferences that actually happen online if you cannot attend physically. Remember, you can actually also attend some of the conferences online, and there are some that you have to attend physically. So it's up to you. You can choose to attend online or physically. Remember, not all conferences you have to attend them online. For example, the ADEX Expo, there is no online attendance. You have to attend physically. So if you have the badge, remember you have to go through the migration process. So thank you. That was my time. I can actually just take a few minutes to actually uh, tackle the questions. What if my business license is new, or will it be considered? Yes, it's actually going to be considered. Remember, the conference is actually in November. Okay, it's actually going to take place in November. Then your business will actually be in operational before. If your license is new, then you'll actually be doing business until November. So when you're actually attending the visa immigration appointment, you can actually produce your license also. Kuna conferences za churches, yes. Sabina Odinda, kuna conference paka za churches, kuna conferences paka za, I don't know. Kuna food and beverage, kuna za business services, logistics and transportation, agriculture. Okay, there are so many types of conferences. So many types of conferences. Just name it. Kuna paka conferences, I don't know, agriculture, nini, all those, engineering, construction, just name it. Kuna conferences type mingi sana. Okay, all the industries in the world lazima kuwe na conference. Which conferences can be attended online? So I cannot tell you which conference you can attend online right now, because there are actually so many that you actually have to go visit the conference itself, know if the conference has the physical aspect and the online aspect. Okay, so there are actually so many that some of them, I'm sure they have the online attendance. Okay, you can actually attend online. Okay, and I wish you all the best. I wish you all the best, guys. So you have, for example, to visit the website, visit each specific conference, go learn about the conference itself, whether they have the online attendance and everything. There is an important aspect I'm going, yeah. Yeah. So there is an important aspect I'm going to talk about. Remember, you need to go to the organizers section whenever you are actually attending a conference. Hapo kwa organizers, for example, for all those people who have your badges, I want you to go and inbox the person who is actually going to be assisting you in your visa letters. It is important you do that. Sawa. Don't go and inbox the chairman of the conference. Chairman hawezi kukusaidia vitu kaa hizo. Ashapeana details za mtu mwenye anaenda kukusaidia na visa letter. So be professional when you apply. Conference ya online mtu anaweza pata, okay. This is an interesting question. Wow. So Lily, okay. This also depends on how you actually going to approach the conference. Are you going to be among the people who can actually be, are you going to be among the people who are actually interesting? Okay, mzungu yuko, wazungu wako. Okay, so you can actually find the love of your life there. Kama ni sponsor, kama ni vijana bado wako kwa hiyo conference. So it's a matter of how you actually going to present yourself. Remember, wote wenye muna attend online, so mutaonana huko ndani, and you can actually communicate there. Okay?
So guys,
Hoping
I'm going to create a WhatsApp group and we'll share the link on my WhatsApp on my TikTok bio. So nita make sure before I go to bed, I'll just link it on my bio. Go join, because later on I'll pull it down. It's only for joining, and then tutakuwa sawa. Thank you so much for those who have joined. If you haven't given this live a thumbs up, please do that. If you haven't subscribed, or subscribe bado. And official, I'm really grateful for creating your time to come and educate us. We have learned a lot. Me personally, I've learned a lot, and I'm sure tonight I'll have to apply for this conference, because you never know. And the good thing is, you can even go and come back home. Okay, but you'll make connection, you'll meet with people that you never thought you'll ever meet with, and from there you can find yourself going to other places just because of that one conference. And you see, if where is the conference? Sorry,
Brussels.
Belgium. Yeah,
Brussels,
Brussels.
Belgium.
So if your plan is to go to like Canada, you can use this opportunity. Invest. It's called investing on yourself, investing on your travel history. Go to this conference for those 2 days, come back home. And you know, when you'll be going to apply for another tourist visa or even a conference to Canada, trust me, they are going to give you that visa, because they will see this person went to Brussels for a conference and came back. He or she never broke any immigration rule. That's what you do when it comes to these things. You plan ahead. You plan, because again, if you're going to apply for a Canadian tourist visa, you'll need a travel history. And some of you, maybe you haven't traveled, or even if you have traveled, you've traveled to countries where you just went there for work. But if you can just go to these conferences, and getting a Schengen visa is a bit easier when you have the invitation and all that stuff. The possibility of you denied is less. Okay, is less, and that will give you a very good travel history. So
There's
I guess
one question
we
I'd
are
love
done.
to tackle.
Time is up.
There's
Time
a
is up,
question I'd
and
love to tackle, Pauline.
okay,
There's,
okay.
there is one of the viewers who actually asked about football.
Mm-hmm.
Football is kuna conference mpaka za football. Hakuna conference yenye hakuna hii dunia. You just
Mm-hmm.
go there, conferences dealing in football, for example. Right now, you just Google, okay? You make Google your friend, okay, or your best friend, or uh, your acquaintance, okay? Just go there, make Google your friend, apply for all those conferences. Remember, kuna conferences pia watu ulipwa, okay, to attend. Na kuna conferences zenye we ulipa to attend, okay? Na kuna zenye you can actually attend online. Sawa sawa. Wote wenye wanataka wazungu conferences ni zero. Sawa sawa. I've actually even switched. Kama unataka mzungu and all those things, na unataka watu wenye ni serious, not the online scammers, eh? Remember kuna wenye mna deal na online scammers huko. So conferences are one of the places you can actually find even a CEO who is attending. Remember, each and every person attends a seminar for a specific reason. There are people who go there to network mostly, and this is something I'll tell you. For me, I normally attend conferences to network. Okay? You go there to network. Ukifika huko ndio na
So
realize
there's someone who is
kumbe
asking. So student unaangukia wapi?
That question, Pauline, for me is it's a bit vague. I cannot be able to understand what Ashtra is talking about. Kuangukia wapi? I don't know what she's actually trying to mean by kuangukia. It's not a direct question. Conference inafanyika kwa kanisa na mtu anaweza lala kwa hiyo kanisa. So Lily, the conference is not happening kwa kanisa. Unless munaenda conference zenye ni za kanisa, munaweza lala huko. Okay? Kuna conferences zinalipia watu flight. Interesting question. So I've never come across any conference that that pays for people to fly there, okay? Because they actually don't even know if you'll actually even go. So chances are zero. Okay, I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but conference yenye unalipiwa flight sijasikia maisha yangu yote. What about the physical
There's also
interviews?
another question. What about the physical interview? Are they necessary when I'm in a different country? It depends. It depends. Sometimes if you decide to use a third party, you don't necessarily have to go to that interview. For example, if you use VFS, you'll just do an interview with the VFS. You don't have to go to the embassy. But I don't see anything hard. If you can be able to apply for it, even if it's a physical interview, wow, it should not worry you because there's nothing that they're going to ask you out of this world. So I don't think like we have any other questions. I guess we can call it a day. What about that one we have read? So I guess we can call it a day. Thank you so much for everyone who came in. We have been here for 1 hour, 6 minutes. And yes, even if you're a student, you can go to a conference. Yes, you can. You can. Bora wazazi ama the person who is going to sponsor you akuwe ready na the red document. Sabina Odida anasema please guys like the live. Yeah, pay any live thumbs up. Just give it a thumbs up. It's only liking. Imagine you're not paying to like. You're not paying to like the video. Do that. It will encourage us to come here more frequently. Unaona? And but we're really thankful. Let's call it a day and see you maybe next time. About the WhatsApp link, I will create a WhatsApp and link it on my what? On my
Yeah, bio.
TikTok bio. Okay, I'm just going to put it there and then we can learn more because it might not necessarily be for those people who will be having badges and even planning to go to that conference, but also for future conferences and information. Yes, you can use VFS. You can use VFS. So, kwaherini. Thank you so much. And we can end it now. We have like, okay, let me give it until 1 hour, 10 minutes. So we have like 2 minutes to go. So if you have a question,
So Pauline,
you can.
I hope there is a time we'll come and discuss about job opportunities. There are so many things I've actually researched and found out. Okay, there are job
Okay.
opportunities everywhere. I can even in Estonia. I'm sure people don't even know that there is a country known as Luxembourg, Estonia. Okay, and
Mhm.
actually Luxembourg is the second richest country in the world. Mhm.
Wow, I didn't know
I have to
about
put
that.
it there. Yeah. So for me, it's just to say thank you. Thank you guys for attending. For me, I don't take this for granted. I want to say thank you for everybody who's actually attended. Thank you for your questions. You know where to find me. If you want to talk to me personally, you know, TikTok, you can find my bio there. You click on the WhatsApp icon, you talk to me. And I'm actually going to pull down my WhatsApp number and just leave my email there. Okay. But for the time being, you can actually chat one on one directly. Okay. And let's interact. If you have any question, I'm actually a very open and free person to talk to. Okay. Mostly in the
Sabina
evenings.
is suggesting
Mhm.
Sabina Odinda is suggesting we should be coming live every Saturday. We'll try and see. And also during the weekdays, because it's in the evening, we'll see on the days that we can like have a schedule and be talking about these things. So apart from that, I guess that's it. And good night. Cha tuongee kesho. Bye.